Hey guys, Zach here, and today I want to transform this overgrown mess of a tank to a beautiful peninsula-scape for a couple of sparkling gouramis. Now the first thing to do with this tank is just clean it out, so that was easy enough, and then I can move on to building back up the substrate layer. I wanted to leave in the old substrate because it is full of beneficial bacteria, and I just wanted to build up the background to give the tank a little bit more depth with the new substrate. Now with the substrate in as much as I'd like, I can move on to the hardscape. For the hardscape in this tank, there were really two things I wanted to achieve. The first was that I wanted this left-hand side panel to be a viewing panel inside the aquarium, so I wanted to keep a peninsula-style scape that would allow for viewing from that side. The second was that I wanted to create a scape that was more reminiscent of the gourami's native habitat, and before I had lava rock and some wood in there. However, I found that they were more attracted to the wood, so I settled on a nice simple scape just with this big chunky piece of driftwood. Now this piece of wood wasn't fully waterlogged, so I just wanted to apply a little bit of glue just to hold it down and make sure that it doesn't float up, and I'm just trying to hide the glue the best that I can. With the scape complete, I just cleaned off this front panel and then I filled it up so we can move on to planting. As far as planting goes, there was really only one idea that I had for this tank, and that was to include a bunch of grass-like plants along with the other plants in this tank to sort of be inspired by the gourami's native range. So I've included Vallisneria, I've included dwarf sage, and I've included some Phalaenopsis, which are all very long, thin plants that are going to be similar to the type of plant that you would see in the gourami's native range. Now, this is not a biotope, it is not a naturalistic tank, however it is inspired by their native range. Now I did forget to film it, but I did include some moss in this tank, as you can see here, because the gouramis do like to lay in the moss and hide in it, so I figured I would include it again. Now, because I added in new substrate to the old substrate, this tank is still technically cycled, the bacteria is still there, so after a quick 30-minute acclimation, I added the gouramis back into the tank. So guys, that is everything for this video. If you have enjoyed, please consider subscribing, and I will see you next time. Peace.